Welcome back, peeps. Thank you for tuning in the Battle Royale channel, where we're always taking a look at the newest tips and tricks in the Call of Duty universe. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the battle of the two most popular ARs, probably in Warzone right now, the M13 versus the Kilo 141. We're going to be taking a look at 4 different main ideas in this video, being the general idea for each AR, the most popular class setups for each AR, comparing the stats with Truegame data, and at the end, testing recoil, which is probably one of the most important factors that will help you decide this gun. At the end of this video, you should be able to have a pretty good idea on which gun would be best for your play style. Now, if you guys do enjoy this kind of content, please remember to like and subscribe and turn that notification bell on. It deeply helps me out a lot, because if you guys didn't know, 91% of you guys who watch my videos are not subscribed yet. So if you do, I deeply appreciate it. And with that being said, let's jump right into this video. So first off, let's go into the general idea for each AR, right? What is each AR made for? Honestly, I would say both of these ARs are pretty similar in terms of handling and gameplay. The only difference I would say is that the Kilo 141 offers a little bit more damage with really good recoil control at a slower fire rate, compared to the M13 with, again, really good recoil control and significantly higher fire rate, but obviously at the cost that each bullet will do a little bit less damage. So what does this translate to? Usually the Kilo 141, you can use it into medium and long range situations and even close range situations, because you can definitely compete against those SMGs because of that higher damage that the Kilo 141 has. Compared to the M13, I feel that you can definitely laser people from far away, definitely laser them, but sometimes the M13 may feel a little bit of an airsoft gun, and as well, you may lose a little bit of those up close battles against some other players because it doesn't have that same sort of damage. But overall, I would say that Kilo 141 and the M13 are probably one of the more closer ARs that are pretty similar to each other. Not only that, but they both really use the same exact attachments. I mean, everybody basically slaps the same attachments on the Kilo and on the M13. Talking about attachments, let's go into the most popular class setups right now for the Kilo and the M13. Let's jump right into that. So first, let's go into the Kilo 141 assault rifle. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already know what these classes are, but let's jump right into them. So this was actually from my video, which is the top 10 most used weapons with the most used attachments. If you guys haven't watched that video, I did the top 10 most used weapons in season 6. I'll put that video in the screen right now. But this was from that video, and the most used Kilo attachments were these: monolithic suppressor with the SynGuard 19.8 Prowler, with the VLK 3x optic. Ammunition, we're gonna go with the 60 round mags, and for the underbarrel, we're gonna go with the Commando. Now, talking about the M13, it is gonna be right here, and it's basically exactly the same. The only difference is the barrels that both of them have, but they're gonna have the monolithic suppressor. This one's gonna have the Tempest Marksman, the VLK 3x optic, 60 round mags, and the Commando foregrip. Again, the same exact attachments as the Kilo, but the only difference here is going to be the barrel. That is basically the main differences. Now that I've shown you the most important classes, I'm gonna grab both of these same classes that I just used and slap them right into Truegame data, and let's see what these stats tell us of each of these weapons. Let's jump with the stats comparison. All right, so let's go into the comparison summary data. Again, like it says right here, compared with attachments. And those are the attachments I just showed you in the previous part of this video. So now for the range modifier, this doesn't actually mean that the Kilo has 60% more overall range. It just means that with those attachments, the Kilo actually gets a significant range boost. And again, they're basically the same exact attachments. The only difference is that barrel for the Kilo is definitely going to be really significant with the range modifier. Now, if we take a look at ADS, the M13 has 361 and the Kilo 141 has 409. So you can aim in a little bit faster with the M13. The sprint to fire speed and the tactical sprint to fire time, which means that how long does it take you from running to get your weapon ready to shoot, they're both going to be exactly the same in that perspective. With the movement speed, they're going to be pretty much the same. The M13 being slightly faster, so you can just run a tad faster with your M13 compared to your Kilo. and again, your ADS movement speed, just a little bit faster with the M13. This is when you're aiming down sights, how fast can you move with it, and the M13 is going to be just a little bit faster with that. Vertical recoil control, again, that kilo barrel is going to be significant here, giving it less vertical recoil control, 49% less compared to the M13 at 37. So with these stats, again, this doesn't say that the kilo has less recoil. This just says that with the attachments, it should give it an upper hand, right? And again, all this because of the barrel, because the other attachments are exactly the same. For the horizontal bounce, they are going to be exactly the same. Now when we go into the hipfire area, it is actually going to be a little bit easier to kill somebody hipfire with the M13 compared to the kilo. Now with the bullet velocity, which means that the higher the bullet velocity is, the less you have to bullet lead that enemy when they're far away from you. And this is going to be 1,259 meters per second for the M13 and 1,300 meters per second for the kilo, meaning that the kilo does have a slightly faster bullet speed compared to the M13. For the reload time, we're just going to say they're going to be exactly the same because that 0.01 seconds is not really going to matter that much. And again, mag size, they're going to be exactly the same. Now let's jump into probably one of the important parts here. So we got a chart option, and this is actually pretty cool. This tells you the time to kill of the enemy, and this is probably one of the more important things right here. So we have the enemies at 250 health, which means they've got their full health and their 3 plates, and we're going to put the chest location, the people shooting at the chest. So this is the time that it takes to kill somebody and the distance, right? So here in the bottom, we've got the meters, and here in the left-hand side, we've got the timer. So let me explain something to you pretty fast before we jump into that. As you guys can see here, these are damage profiles that you can see in the left. This is going to be something really important that you have to remember. The M13 only has 2 damage profiles compared to the kilo. All right, let's go back into this part right here, which we were talking about. So each line is going to be a damage profile, right? So let's say the kilo is the blue one, the purple one, or whatever you want to call it. So not the blue one, the purple one. So the kilo from 0 to around 48 meters, up to 48 meters, the kilo will take about 0.7 seconds, a little bit less than that, but about around 0.7 seconds to kill somebody if you were within that meter. And compared to the M13 at a little bit further range, 54 meters, is going to be 0.71. So it's going to be a slight differential here, but the kilo 141, definitely, I believe, because of that higher damage, you will be able to kill somebody faster while using the kilo 141. Now, when things get a little bit interesting, when you start going, as we can see right here, this is the 87. So once you start crossing the 87 meter mark, which is when the kilo 141 gets its next damage drop off, as you guys can see here, the M13 stays in the middle. So because it only has 2 damage drop offs, when you're shooting those farther ranges over 80 meters, the M13 is going to have way bigger advantage. If we can take right here, at 114 meters, the M13 kills in 0.96 seconds, right? Almost 1 second. And then if we take a look at the kilo 141, at 100 meters, it is going to be way over 1.1 seconds. So you can see this is a pretty big difference in time. So up close, they're pretty neck to neck. Kilo 141 definitely having that advantage. But when you're going over the 100 meters, the M13 doesn't lose as much damage. Now let's go into the base stats comparison. All right, this is without any what's it called? Attachments or anything like that. Let me just refix my screen and we'll jump right into that. All right, so here we go with the base stats comparison. Again, this is without attachments, just do be aware of that. And this is what I was talking about with the damage profile. So from 0 to 37 meters and from 0 to 30 meters, this is what we got. As you guys can see, definitely the kilo has a little bit more damage. 42 to the head compared to 36 to the head with the M13. 28 to the chest, 24. 28 to the stomach, 24. 28 to the extremities, being the arms and legs, 24 with the M13. So definitely the kilo has that advantage. Now, once we go to the middle one, as you guys can see, and let's bump this up a little bit, the kilo 141 still has that advantage. But once we go over the 54.5 meter mark, that is where things start to change a little bit. Now we can see the bigger difference, and because the M13 definitely has that better damage drop-off range, as we can see in the chart here, where I forgot to show you this, but if we switch this to the head, look at the huge difference from the M13 compared to the Kilo. I mean, that is a huge difference. The M13 to the head at over 80 meters, which is a pretty significant, kills in about 0.6 seconds compared to the Kilo 141 in almost 0.8 seconds. So this right here is a huge thing. Look at up close. If you're really, really close and you both shooting each other with the M13 and the Kilo, and you both shooting to the head, it's going to be extremely close. I mean, you're probably not even going to notice the difference. It's going to be almost the same. But now when we get to those further ranges, this is, again, going back into here, this is because the M13 only has 2 damage drop off, and that is going to be really, really important. Now, if we compare the base stats movement, let's just compare. They both have the same bullet velocity. They both have almost exactly the same, but the Kilo definitely has the better barrel, giving it the advantage. So now that we went over the stats, which are actually pretty interesting, let's go into the recoil testing, which again is probably one of the most important factors for a bunch of people. Let's jump into that. All right, so now we are in the recoil testing. We're going to be doing 2 tests with the recoil. First off, we're going to shoot at this door here without trying to control the recoil. Then we're going to turn around and we're going to try to control the recoil and shoot at that little spot right there. We're going to be going with the Kilo and then with the M13. Just so you guys can take a look at the class that I have selected. It was the class that I showed before. So let's jump right into that puppy right here. So we're going to line up in here and we're going to go ahead and line up right to the middle here and take those shots. In 3, 2, 1. There we go. And we are going to do the same on the other side because we never get, again, you never get 2 exact recoil patterns. There we go. 2 recoil patterns on that door. Now we're going to go ahead and turn around and we're going to go ahead and try to control it right there. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Let's go ahead and switch to the M13. All right, now we got the M13 in our hand. As you guys can see, this is the one that I have selected. Again, these same perks, these same attachments that we talked about. We're just going to be moving a little bit to the right, and we're going to do the same test right here. Just going up a little bit forward to make sure. 3, 2, 1, blast off. There we go. We're going to go ahead and do the same, but to the right-hand side. Pretty significant difference here. And let's go ahead and try to control it. All right, there we go. So let's compare them now. As you guys can see, you can definitely see the huge difference here. With the M13, definitely, they both have pretty different recoil patterns. So vertical recoil is definitely a lot more in the M13, and it goes to the right-hand side. So you have to, when you're aiming and when you're shooting, you have to aim a little bit to the bottom left-hand side. That's how you control it. The Kilo 141 would be the other way. You'd be aiming down right to control that recoil. Now, if we take a look at the other one, where we're trying to control it, I really thought it was almost exactly the same. I do feel the initial kick on the M13 is stronger, but once you get it, I feel that you can laser it a little bit more than the Kilo. We're going to be going into just one more test, which is going to be a little bit further long range testing with the recoil. Let's jump right into that. All right, so from here, we're going to be firing over there, which is a pretty significant distance. We're going to fire 120 mags, and I'm going to try and keep it above that line, all those shots on that line, and we're going to take a look which shots hit better. So 3, 2, 1. I'll reload there. I definitely feel it's not that hard to control. I mean, you just pull it down to the right and it's pretty easy. All right, let's go with the M13. All right, we got the M13 in our hand and we're just going to aim it a little bit to the right hand side, and let's go ahead and test it out. Again, this is me trying to control the recoil. As you can see, it's just that initial kick with the M13. I feel it's what's powerful. As you guys saw, it was, yeah, definitely. So pretty similar. We just have those extra shots here that with the M13, because of that higher vertical recoil that we saw without trying to control it, that initial kick just kicks you up a little bit more with the M13. So definitely a little bit harder to hit those first shots, but after you start lasering both of them, I feel they're both almost the same. You do have to remember the M13 does have a faster fire rate, so it is prone to having a little bit more recoil, obviously. But yeah, this is what we have with the both. Honestly, I think they're pretty similar. Again, M13 definitely just having that little kick at the beginning, but then you can control a little bit better. It just really depends on what you're better off. If you're better controlling aiming downwards, because again, we're going back here, it just depends on whether you are better controlling the recoil down to the left or down to the right. It just depends what you feel more comfortable with. But let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. What is your main weapon to go after you saw this video? Did it change your mind, or did it just confirm that you love one more than the other? Honestly, I am just a fan favorite of the M13. I've been loving it since I used it. I think it's because it looks like an M4, because I'm always an M4 fan. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion on it. I definitely think, you know, it's a little bit harder to control, but I just find it so satisfying killing people. I only get a little bit pissed off sometimes because it feels like an airsoft gun. But besides that, that is my personal choice. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. If you want to take a look at my special M13 class, which is better, in my opinion, is better than the most popular one, I'll put the video in the screen right now. Peace out, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next one. Well, hello there. I see you're still here, and because of that, you're going to get a VIP tour of my brand spanking new website. Here you can check out if I'm streaming, or maybe donate some Benjamins if you want to support me a bit more. Most importantly, you can get your own anti-gulag merch right here. 100% guaranteed that you will not go into the gulag if you wear one of these. And finally, you can check out some of my COD videos and the top point makers on my stream. And now, with all that being said, I'll see you all in the next one.